"I met my boss on the beach," she said. "Where are you looking?" "My eyes are up here." I froze. Alex Harper never imagined he would spend his day off on the beaches of Kepler 452b. The colony's sandy shores stretched endlessly, glimmering faintly under the twin suns. Holographic waves lapped at the shore, their colors shifting between soft violet and deep blue, and the faint hum of environmental drones blended with the distant chatter of colonists enjoying the day. For Alex, it was a rare break from the hum of machinery, endless reports, and the constant pressure of engineering projects. He had arrived early in the morning, his lightweight suit tucked into his backpack, along with his small toolkit and the experimental mini-drone he had been testing for weeks. Today, Alex had one goal: to relax, to forget the colony's complex life support systems, and perhaps build a sandcastle with a few of his gadgets just for fun. The sand felt different here. Unlike the beaches of Earth he had once visited in his childhood, this sand shimmered faintly with traces of metallic minerals, the result of Kepler 452b's unique composition. Alex ran his fingers through it, noticing how it almost seemed to hum under his touch. "So peaceful," he whispered to himself. It had been months since he felt this calm. He crouched down and activated the small drone in his palm. It buzzed softly, hovering over the sand, scanning patterns and drawing shapes automatically. Alex grinned. "Okay, little guy, let's see if we can make the ultimate sandcastle." The drone sprayed a fine mist of liquid polymer that hardened instantly, allowing him to build towers, walls, and intricate bridges faster than any human hands could. As he worked, Alex barely noticed the figure approaching along the shore. A tall woman in a shimmering sun suit walked with casual confidence, scanning the horizon. Her presence alone commanded attention, though she seemed to move almost silently, her steps leaving no deep marks in the sand. Alex didn't recognize her at first, busy as he was with his little engineering masterpiece. Then the drone's sensors beeped sharply. Alex looked up, startled, and froze. Standing only a few feet away was Dr. Livia Voss, the colony's CEO. The same Livia Voss whose email chains he had spent nights deciphering, whose reputation for brilliance and ruthlessness preceded her everywhere. She looked casual here, sunglasses reflecting the shimmering sand, a soft smile tugging at her lips, but there was no mistaking the sharp intelligence in her gaze. Alex felt his face heat up instantly. Good morning, doctor." "Voss," he stammered, trying to sound casual, failing miserably. Dr. Voss tilted her head slightly, eyes narrowing, not in anger but in curiosity. She glanced down at his drone and then at the half-finished sandcastle. "That's ambitious," she said. Her voice was calm, confident, and carried an authority that made Alex's stomach twist. I was just testing my drone," Alex said, rubbing the back of his neck. He wanted to look anywhere but at her, yet he couldn't help noticing the meticulous way she scanned the environment. Every movement she made seemed purposeful, almost as if she were analyzing the sand, the waves, and even him simultaneously. Then came the line that would stick in Alex's mind forever. "Where are you looking? My eyes are up here." He froze completely. The words were calm, almost amused, but they carried a weight that made Alex's brain short-circuit. He opened his mouth to respond, but no words came out. His eyes, he realized with mortifying clarity, had wandered at the wrong time. "Doctor." Voss raised one perfectly arched eyebrow, waiting. Alex swallowed hard. Yes, your eyes up here," he mumbled, sounding more like a nervous child than a competent engineer. He mentally kicked himself. "Smooth, Alex, real smooth." She tilted her head slightly again, a small smile tugging at the corner of her mouth. "Good," she said simply. "Now tell me, why are you on this beach instead of working on the colony's environmental sensors?" Alex blinked. "A day off," he managed finally, gesturing vaguely at the drone and sandcastle. "I thought I'd, test this and relax a bit." Her eyes softened just a fraction. "Relaxation is important," she said. Even engineers need a break from reality. But her gaze swept the shoreline, landing briefly on the distant colony structures. The beach has a way of showing you things you wouldn't notice in the labs. Alex nodded, unsure how to respond. There was something in her tone, a subtle hint that she knew far more than she let on. And judging by the way she looked at the sand, the water, and then back at him, it felt like she wasn't here merely by coincidence. The silence stretched for a moment. Alex fidgeted, glancing down at his half-finished sandcastle, then back at her. Do you come here often?" he asked, instantly hating himself for saying it. Dr. Voss raised an eyebrow. "I make it a point to know the colony well," she replied, "including its beaches." Before Alex could respond, the drone suddenly beeped erratically. Lights flashed red, and it zoomed up in an uncontrolled loop, spraying a thin trail of polymer in a chaotic arc. The tiny structure Alex had painstakingly built began to collapse under its own weight. "Oh no. No, no, no," Alex shouted, running after it. The drone zipped around him like a mischievous insect, narrowly missing Dr. Voss. She stepped back gracefully, arms crossed, a bemused smile on her face as she watched the chaos unfold. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Alex managed to catch the drone and shut it down. He looked up, red-faced, expecting anger or disappointment. Instead, Dr. Voss laughed. It was brief, controlled, but genuine, a sound that seemed oddly human for someone of her reputation. "You're going to have to learn control if you're going to be trusted with the colony's tech," she said. "But I like your enthusiasm." Alex exhaled, relief washing over him. "Thanks," he said, feeling both embarrassed and strangely proud. There was something in her acknowledgement, brief as it was, that made him feel seen, not just as an engineer but as a person. Dr. Voss glanced at the sand where the drone had scattered the polymer. Something in her expression shifted, her curiosity peaked, sharper now. She knelt slightly, brushing a fingertip over the sand. Her eyes widened just a fraction. "Interesting," she murmured. Alex's curiosity surged. "Interesting? What is it?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she studied the sand for a long moment, her fingers tracing faint patterns. Then she looked back at him. "There's something under this beach," she said slowly. "Something sensors have missed." Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. "Under the beach." "Yes," she confirmed. "And I think it's been waiting for someone like you to notice it." Alex's heart raced. He had spent years working on experimental tech, drones, sensors, and systems, but never had he imagined stumbling upon something like this. And yet here it was, hidden beneath the sands, right under his feet. Dr. Voss stood, brushing sand from her hands. "Come with me," she said. "If you're going to play with your drones here, you might as well play where it matters." Alex hesitated. The day he had planned for relaxation had just turned into something far bigger. His mind raced with possibilities, alien artifacts, undiscovered energy sources, secret colony projects. But more than that, he felt a spark of excitement he hadn't felt in years. "Yes," he said finally, "I'll follow you." Dr. Voss smiled again, just slightly, and turned toward the dunes at the far end of the beach. The hum of the waves and the warmth of the twin suns faded into the background as Alex followed her, his mind filled with questions, curiosity, and a hint of awe. He didn't know what lay ahead, but one thing was certain. His day off had just become the most extraordinary day of his life. As they walked, Alex glanced down at the sand one last time. The drone lay still, harmless now, but he had a feeling it was only the beginning. The beach was more than just sand and sun. It was a doorway, a hint, a puzzle waiting for human ingenuity to unlock. And with Dr. Voss leading the way, Alex couldn't wait to see what came next. For the first time in months, he felt alive. The dunes stretched endlessly, glowing softly under the twin suns. Alex Harper trudged behind Dr. Livia Voss, careful not to trip over the uneven sand. Each step seemed heavier than the last, not because of fatigue, but because his mind was buzzing with questions. What was Dr. Voss hinting at? What lay hidden under the beach? He stole glances at her from behind, studying her stride. She moved with a natural grace as if the sand itself responded to her weight. She glanced back once, catching his gaze. "Curiosity is a good thing, Alex," she said, her voice calm, almost teasing. "But remember, it can get you into trouble if you're careless." Alex nodded. "Yes, ma'am," he muttered, though his curiosity burned brighter than any caution. They reached the far end of the beach where the sand was finer and darker. Here, the twin suns' reflections made the grains shimmer like glass. "Doctor." Voss stopped and crouched down, brushing away a few layers of sand. Alex knelt beside her, eager to see what she had discovered. "This is unusual," she murmured. Sensors didn't detect it, and yet the readings are subtle, almost like a faint energy signature buried under the surface. Alex leaned closer, squinting at the sand. "Energy signature, like electricity." Dr. Voss shook her head. "No, something older. Something not of human origin." Alex felt a jolt of excitement mixed with nervousness. Alien, on a colony they thought was safe and controlled. He had read about alien artifacts, of course, and studied every case he could find in his spare time, but encountering one in person was a different matter entirely. "What do you mean, not human origin?" he asked. Dr. Voss tapped the sand gently. "Whatever this is, it's alive in a way we don't fully understand. It reacts to the environment, to energy, and possibly to thought. Humans may be the only species capable of interacting with it." Alex's heart skipped a beat. He had always thought of humans as clever, yes, but not special in the grand scheme of the universe. Yet here she was, suggesting that humanity might be uniquely attuned to something alien. He swallowed hard. "So, we dig it up." Dr. Voss gave him a sharp look. "We approach carefully. No sudden movements. This is not a mechanical system we can control with code. It responds to intention." Alex nodded again, trying to hide the mix of excitement and fear. He glanced down at the sand and noticed a faint shimmer spreading outward like ripples in water. "It's like it's alive," he whispered. "Exactly," Dr. Voss said. She reached into her satchel and pulled out a small scanner, waving it lightly over the sand. The device beeped faintly, displaying a holographic overlay on the surface. In the center, faint geometric patterns pulsed in colors Alex had never seen before. "It's beautiful," he said, awe in his voice. Dr. Voss's lips curved in the smallest of smiles. "It is. And it's also dangerous if mishandled." Alex's mind raced. Dangerous. He felt a thrill of nervous excitement. "What does it do?" "We don't know yet," Dr. Voss admitted, "but it's ancient, possibly predating this star system, and it seems waiting. Waiting for something or someone to activate it." Alex glanced at her. "And you think it's me?" She raised an eyebrow. "Possibly, or at least humans in general. Machines won't interact with it. AI won't understand it. Only a mind that thinks creatively and intuitively may unlock its potential." Alex's stomach churned. The responsibility suddenly felt enormous. He was just a junior engineer, not a scientist, not an explorer. And yet here he was on the edge of something incredible, with the colony's CEO trusting him to act. Dr. Voss stood, gesturing to a small ridge nearby. "We need tools, carefully. Nothing that might shock it. No heavy machinery, just us, a few scanners, and intuition." Alex followed her, glancing back at the shimmer in the sand. It seemed to pulse softly, almost like a heartbeat. His mind whirled with possibilities. What if it was a power source? What if it was a map? What if it could think? They began to clear the sand gently, layer by layer, using small brushes and hand tools. Alex's hands shook slightly, his nerves mixing with excitement. Every time he touched the sand, it pulsed faintly under his fingers, almost as if it recognized him. "This is amazing," he murmured. "It responds to me." Dr. Voss nodded. "Exactly, and that is why humans are important. We are creative, unpredictable, and intuitive. Machines may follow patterns perfectly, But life, especially alien life, may respond only to unpredictability. Hours passed. The twin suns shifted in the sky, casting longer shadows across the dunes. Slowly, shapes began to emerge in the sand. Geometric ridges, intricate patterns, and faintly glowing symbols formed a circular structure that seemed far too precise to be natural. Alex stepped back, eyes wide. It's like a machine, but alive. Dr. Voss studied it silently. Or a message, or a puzzle. Alex felt his pulse quicken. A puzzle? Yes, she said. Something is asking us to figure it out. Not with brute force, but with thought, creativity, and intuition. That's the key. Alex glanced at her, amazed. So, what do we do first? Dr. Voss smiled faintly, her eyes glinting. We observe, we touch, we interact carefully, and we pay attention to what it tells us. Not just with sensors, but with our minds. Alex felt a thrill. This was unlike anything he had ever done. This wasn't fixing a power generator or calibrating environmental sensors. This was first contact with something beyond human understanding. He reached out and lightly traced a finger over one of the glowing patterns. Immediately, the sand beneath his touch pulsed brighter. A faint hum filled the air, soft but insistent, vibrating through the soles of his boots. Alex froze, his breath catching. It reacted, he whispered. Dr. Voss nodded, her gaze sharp. Good, that's exactly what we want. Observe the response. Understand it, don't force it. Let it teach you. For the next several hours, Alex and Dr. Voss worked methodically, carefully interacting with the artifact. Alex tried tracing patterns, drawing shapes, and even humming softly, almost instinctively. Each action produced subtle changes. Colors shifted, vibrations pulsed, and faint holographic outlines appeared briefly above the sand. It was mesmerizing. Alex felt a deep connection forming, as if the artifact recognized him not as a threat, but as a partner. The idea that humans could possess a unique capability in the universe suddenly felt real, tangible. At one point, Alex paused, his hands hovering over a particularly complex symbol. It's like it's asking a question, he murmured. Dr. Voss crouched beside him, studying the holographic outline. Exactly. It's not just a puzzle for the mind. It's a puzzle for life itself. Creativity, empathy, intuition, these are the keys. Humans excel in ways machines never will. Alex's mind raced. He felt a combination of excitement, fear, and awe. He had always believed in human ingenuity, but now, seeing it validated by an alien intelligence, he felt pride he had never known. The artifact pulsed again, and suddenly, a section of sand shifted. A small compartment opened, revealing a crystalline object glowing faintly from within. Alex stared, mouth agape. It's real, he whispered. Dr. Voss nodded. And it's only the beginning. What you do next will shape not just your life, but potentially the colonies, and maybe even humanity's future. Alex took a deep breath. The day he had expected to relax had turned into something extraordinary. He was no longer just a junior engineer. He was part of something bigger, something that required courage, creativity, and trust. He looked at Dr. Voss, who nodded once, a silent signal to proceed. Alex reached out, his hand steady despite the rapid beat of his heart, and touched the crystalline object. The artifact pulsed, brighter this time, and the holographic pattern shifted into a complex, interwoven network of light. Alex's mind filled with possibilities, ideas, and questions, and he realized one simple truth: humans were not just survivors. Humans were creators, explorers, and problem solvers. And here, on the sandy beaches of Kepler 452b, Alex Harper had just begun to prove it. As the twin suns dipped lower, casting long shadows across the beach, Alex knew that the day's events were only the start. The artifact had awakened, yes, but it had also awakened something within him. The spark of human ingenuity, curiosity, and courage that no machine, no alien technology could ever replicate. And that, he thought with a smile, was something worth protecting. The crystalline object pulsed softly, casting multicolored light across the sand. Alex Harper stared at it, feeling both awe and unease. For hours, he and Dr. Voss had worked to reveal its patterns, interacting carefully, learning its rhythms. But now it felt different, alive, watching. Dr. Voss stood silently beside him, arms crossed, studying the artifact's light. "It's communicating," she said finally. "Or testing us. Be ready for anything." Alex nodded, though his heart pounded. "Testing? Like a puzzle?" "More than a puzzle," she said. "Think of it as a challenge, something to measure our understanding, our creativity. Not brute force, never brute force." Alex swallowed hard. The words made sense, but the responsibility felt enormous. He was just a junior engineer. Yet here, on this strange alien beach, he had become part of something far beyond the colony's daily routine. The first pulse came suddenly, brighter and sharper than before. It sent a ripple across the sand. Alex jumped slightly. The patterns in the sand shifted quickly, forming concentric circles that glowed faintly. "Looks like it wants us to do something," Alex whispered. Dr. Voss nodded. "Notice the sequence, follow it carefully. Watch how it reacts." Alex leaned closer. The circles pulsed in a rhythm, faintly echoing in the soles of his boots. His mind raced. The sequence resembled a pattern he had seen in fractal geometry, something he had studied during his engineering courses. But this felt alive. More complex. Every pulse seemed responsive, adjusting slightly to his movements. He reached out, tracing a finger along one of the outer rings. Immediately, the light shifted, brighter, and the outer edges of the circle rearranged themselves. A faint hum resonated in the air. Dr. Voss stepped closer, eyes scanning the holographic display. "Good, keep observing. Let it guide you." Alex's hand hovered over the next ring. He hesitated. Every instinct told him to be careful, but the artifact seemed to expect him to act, to make a choice. He took a deep breath and touched the sand. The ring pulsed sharply, and suddenly a small arc of energy shot upward, forming a delicate light bridge across the beach. Alex stumbled back. "Whoa, did I just make it build a bridge?" Dr. Voss's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Yes. And notice, your touch affected its shape. It's learning from you, responding to human input just like I suspected." The realization hit Alex hard. Machines, AI systems, even the colony's most advanced tech would never respond like this. Only a human mind could influence the artifact in this way. He felt a surge of pride. Maybe humans really were special. But then came the challenge. A sudden vibration ran through the sand. The artifact pulsed more violently than before, and the bridge of light flickered. Alex noticed the concentric circles were rearranging rapidly now, forming new, more complex patterns. "What now?" he whispered. Dr. Voss didn't answer immediately. She crouched, placing her hands near the glowing circles. "It wants a sequence. A solution, yes, but also creativity. Not just repetition. Think." Alex studied the patterns. The circles shifted like a puzzle, rearranging themselves faster than his mind could process. He realized brute force wouldn't work. Memorizing sequences or following logic alone would fail. He needed intuition. He closed his eyes for a moment, imagining the flow of energy through the circles, the rhythm of the pulses, the hum in the sand beneath his boots. Slowly, he extended his hands, tracing the circles in a sequence that felt right. The artifact responded immediately. The circles pulsed brighter, the light bridge stabilized, and a new holographic projection appeared above it. A three-dimensional map of the surrounding area shimmered into existence. Alex's jaw dropped. "Coordinates," Dr. Voss murmured. "It's showing us something." Possibly where it came from. Alex's mind raced. He had imagined discovering alien tech, but the idea of a map, leading somewhere, was beyond anything he had hoped for. The artifact had chosen to reveal this only because he and Dr. Voss had succeeded in its first test. But there was no time to celebrate. The artifact pulsed again, this time sending a wave across the beach. The sand shifted violently, forming a series of steep ridges and small dunes. Alex barely kept his footing. "It's reacting to our success," Dr. Voss shouted over the hum. "It's the next challenge." Alex glanced around. Small energy arcs now danced along the edges of the sand formations, creating narrow pathways and glowing barriers. He realized instinctively that they needed to navigate this maze without touching the wrong paths or triggering the energy arcs. He stepped carefully, feeling each pulse of energy in his boots. "We have to move together," he shouted to Dr. Voss. "If I step wrong—" "I trust your instincts," she finished for him. "Just keep observing, learn the rhythm." They moved in sync, Alex leading with intuition, Dr. Voss analyzing every pulse. The maze seemed to test more than their physical movement. It tested patience, observation, and creativity. Each wrong step caused the barriers to shift, creating new patterns. The artifact was alive, and it was teaching them how to interact with it. Hours seemed to pass in minutes. Alex's hands ached from tracing the patterns. His eyes strained from studying the glowing circles, but the thrill kept him moving. Every correct sequence brought a small success. A barrier dissipated, a new bridge formed, a path became clear. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they reached the center of the energy maze. The artifact pulsed strongly, brighter than ever, and then calmed. The three-dimensional map above it expanded, showing a clear location beyond the colony, an area they had never explored. Alex exhaled, relief washing over him. "We did it," he said, voice trembling. "We passed its first test." Dr. Voss smiled faintly, her eyes reflecting the light of the pulsing artifact. "Yes, but remember, this is only the beginning. What comes next will be harder." Alex nodded, though he could hardly imagine anything more challenging than navigating the living maze of light and energy. But even as he thought it, he felt a growing confidence. He had seen firsthand that human intuition, creativity, and adaptability were powerful. Machines could not replace them. And for the first time, he truly understood what Dr. Voss meant when she said humans were special. The artifact pulsed one last time, and a small compartment opened near the center. Inside lay a device that resembled a tablet, but its surface shimmered with the same living energy as the artifact. Alex picked it up carefully, feeling its warmth and subtle vibrations. "It's a key," he whispered, "or a tool, something to help us with whatever comes next." Dr. Voss nodded. "Exactly, and we'll need every bit of ingenuity we have to understand it. The colony, and perhaps humanity itself, depends on it." Alex felt a surge of determination. The day he had expected to relax on the beach had transformed into a journey unlike any he had imagined. The artifact had awakened, not just in the sand but within him. It had tested him, challenged him, and recognized him. And now Alex Harper understood that the real adventure was only beginning. As the twin suns dipped toward the horizon, casting long shadows across the beach, Alex looked at Dr. Voss. "So, what's next?" he asked, gripping the shimmering device. Dr. Voss's eyes sparkled with a mixture of pride and anticipation. "Next," she said, "we learn from it, we follow its guidance, and we prepare for the challenges ahead. The universe has a way of testing humans, and it seems we've just passed the first test." Alex smiled, feeling a mix of fear, excitement, and purpose. He had always thought of himself as ordinary, a junior engineer in a vast colony. But now, standing on this alien beach, interacting with a living artifact, he felt extraordinary. For the first time, he truly believed in the power of human ingenuity. And whatever the artifact had in store for him next, he knew one thing for certain: humanity was ready. The crystalline device pulsed softly in Alex Harper's hands, its multicolored light reflecting in his wide eyes. The first test had been exhilarating, but now, as he stared at the holographic map projected above it, a deep sense of responsibility settled over him. Whatever lay ahead, he and Dr. Livia Voss would face it together, and failure was not an option. Dr. Voss stood nearby, her posture calm yet alert. She studied the map with sharp eyes, tracing paths and symbols with her fingers. "This device is a guide," she explained. "The artifact wants us to follow it. But I have a feeling the next challenge won't be as simple as tracing patterns or navigating a light maze." Alex nodded, his excitement tempered by apprehension. "Do you think it's dangerous?" "Everything unfamiliar has potential for danger," she replied. "But it also has potential for discovery. That's why humans exist in this universe. We're adaptable, intuitive, and creative. Machines might fail where we succeed." Alex felt a surge of pride. He had already experienced the artifact's responsiveness firsthand. Humans really were special, and now the artifact seemed to recognize it. They carefully followed the map's guidance along the edge of the beach. The sand shimmered under the twin suns, but the path ahead was not smooth. Small ridges and dunes shifted subtly, as if the terrain itself were alive. Every step required attention, and every misstep caused the device to vibrate gently, reminding them to proceed cautiously. After several minutes, they reached a cluster of jagged rocks, partially buried in the sand. The holographic map hovered above the crystalline device, indicating a path through the rocks. Alex peered into the shadows. "It looks tight. Are we sure this is safe, Doctor?" Voss smiled faintly. "Safe enough if we pay attention. Follow my lead and trust your instincts." Alex nodded and took a deep breath. He followed her carefully, ducking under overhanging rocks and stepping around unstable patches. The crystalline device glowed in his hands, pulsing softly as if guiding him through the twists and turns. Suddenly, a section of the rocky path shifted. Small energy arcs shot from the walls, forming temporary barriers that blocked their way. Alex froze. "Stay calm, Doctor," Voss whispered. "Observe, don't react too quickly. Let it show you the pattern." Alex's eyes scanned the arcs. They pulsed rhythmically, almost like the sequences in the artifact's first test. Slowly, he began to move, timing his steps with the pulses. One misstep could trigger a stronger surge, but he trusted his instincts. Dr. Voss followed, her movements precise and controlled. They reached the end of the rocky path and entered a small cavern, faintly glowing from the artifact's light. The air inside was cooler, filled with the hum of energy. Alex's pulse quickened. "It's alive here too," he whispered. Dr. Voss nodded. "Yes, and this is only the beginning. The artifact is testing us on multiple levels now. Not just observation or creativity, but cooperation." Teamwork? Alex realized she was right. The glowing paths ahead split into two distinct sequences. One path required careful manipulation of floating energy spheres. The other required decoding a series of holographic symbols. "We need to split up," Dr. Voss said. "Each of us must handle one part simultaneously. Timing and synchronization are key." Alex felt a rush of adrenaline. "Okay, I'll take the spheres." Dr. Voss nodded. "I'll handle the symbols, keep communicating, watch for changes." Alex stepped forward, hands extended toward the floating spheres. Each sphere pulsed softly, suspended in midair, shifting positions unpredictably. He realized the spheres were responsive, not static objects but living parts of the artifact. Every touch caused subtle changes, and he had to anticipate the reactions. He took a deep breath and started moving them in sequence, following the rhythm of their pulses. Slowly, the spheres aligned, forming a pattern that mirrored the holographic map. The device in his hands vibrated gently, confirming his progress. Meanwhile, Dr. Voss worked on the symbols. They shifted constantly, reorganizing themselves in response to her touch. Alex glanced over and saw her fingers moving with precision, decoding each pattern intuitively. The synchronization between them was incredible. They weren't just solving puzzles, they were communicating with the artifact together. Hours seemed to pass as they worked, each challenge increasing in complexity. Some spheres resisted movement, pulsing more violently. Some symbols rearranged themselves unexpectedly. Alex felt frustration creeping in, but he remembered Dr. Voss's words: creativity and intuition, not brute force. He closed his eyes for a moment, centering himself. Instead of thinking mechanically, he imagined the spheres flowing like water, following natural currents. He let his instincts guide his hands. The spheres responded immediately, aligning perfectly. Dr. Voss glanced at him and smiled faintly. "Well done," she said. "You're learning fast." Alex grinned, feeling a mix of pride and relief. They were making progress, and the artifact was responding positively to their cooperation. But then, the cave shifted. The ground trembled slightly, and the glowing energy arcs intensified. A sudden wave of light swept through the room, forming a barrier between them and the exit. Alex felt a moment of panic. "Stay calm," Dr. Voss shouted. "Observe the pattern." Alex scanned the light waves. They pulsed in a rhythm, rising and falling in intensity. He realized the waves were another test, timing again. "Okay," he muttered. "We move together on my signal." He counted the pulses silently. On the third high pulse, he moved forward, navigating between the arcs. Dr. Voss mirrored his movements. They reached the end safely, hearts pounding but exhilarated. "Good," she said. "Now the final part of this challenge." At the far end of the cave, the artifact projected a massive holographic interface, displaying intricate patterns and symbols that seemed to move of their own accord. Alex's eyes widened. "It's huge," he whispered. Dr. Voss studied it carefully. "This is a culmination. Every test we've completed so far leads to this. Observation, creativity, teamwork, intuition. Everything is required now." Alex swallowed hard. He had solved the spheres and observed the symbols, but this was bigger. A holographic network of energy lines stretched out in 3 dimensions, shifting constantly. One wrong move could scramble the entire system. "We do this together," Dr. Voss said firmly. "Communicate. Watch each other. Trust your instincts." Alex nodded. They began the final challenge. Each manipulated a portion of the holographic network, adjusting energy flows, aligning lines, and activating nodes. The artifact pulsed in response to their movements. It was as if it were alive, responding not just to physical interaction but to the intent behind it. Time became irrelevant. Alex focused on the patterns, trusting his instincts and intuition. Dr. Voss worked in tandem, her experience guiding them through complex adjustments. Slowly, the network stabilized. The pulsing light slowed, forming a steady rhythm. Finally, with a last adjustment, the holographic network glowed brilliantly, and a beam of energy shot upward from the center of the cave. The artifact had accepted their solution. Alex exhaled, relief flooding him. "We did it," he whispered, almost in disbelief. Dr. Voss nodded, her eyes reflecting the radiant light. "Yes, and the artifact has rewarded us." A section of the cave floor shifted, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside, advanced alien technology hummed softly, a combination of crystalline and metallic structures. It was clearly functional, not just decorative, capable of something far beyond human understanding. Alex stepped closer, awestruck. This could change everything." "Doctor." Voss placed a hand on his shoulder. "Exactly, but it's not just about discovery. It's about understanding, learning, and respecting what we encounter. That's why the artifact tests humans. It knows we have the potential to wield knowledge responsibly." Alex nodded slowly. The weight of responsibility settled over him, but it didn't feel burdensome. Instead, he felt inspired. He had learned firsthand that human intuition, creativity, and adaptability were powerful, and the artifact had recognized it. As the twin suns dipped toward the horizon, casting a warm glow into the chamber, Alex looked at Dr. Voss. "So, what's next?" She smiled faintly. "Next, we study it, we learn from it, and we prepare for the future. The universe is full of tests, and we've only passed one. But humans, our creativity, our curiosity, our courage, will carry us further than any machine ever could. Alex felt a deep sense of purpose. The day he had expected to relax on a beach had transformed into a journey of discovery, growth, and revelation. He was no longer just a junior engineer. He was a pioneer, a problem solver, a human being capable of extraordinary things. And he knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity was ready. The hidden chamber pulsed softly with alien energy, casting long shadows across the crystalline structures. Alex Harper's hands trembled slightly as he held the shimmering device. The earlier challenges had tested him, pushed him to his limits, but now, standing before the artifact's full potential, he felt a sense of awe mixed with purpose. Dr. Livia Voss stood beside him, calm and collected, yet her eyes sparkled with anticipation. "This is it," she said. "Everything we've learned, every step we've taken, it all leads here. The artifact is ready to reveal its true capabilities." Alex swallowed hard. "Are we ready?" Dr. Voss smiled faintly. "Humans are always ready. We just don't always know it until the moment arrives." The artifact pulsed brighter, projecting a massive holographic interface that filled the chamber with shifting patterns, symbols, and light beams. It was more complex than anything Alex had ever imagined. The holographic network seemed alive, reacting to every subtle movement, every thought, every intention. Alex felt a thrill of excitement. "So, what do we do first?" Dr. Voss gestured toward the patterns. "Observe, understand, and then interact. Remember what we learned. The artifact responds to creativity, intuition, and human intent, not brute force. Not code, only us." Alex took a deep breath and extended his hands. He felt the energy pulse under his fingertips, a warm hum that seemed to flow into him. He began tracing patterns, moving in time with the rhythm of the light. Each gesture caused the holographic lines to shift, arranging themselves into new configurations. Dr. Voss worked alongside him, adjusting symbols with precision and patience. Their movements synchronized perfectly, a dance of intuition and observation. The artifact pulsed more intensely, responding to their cooperation, to their human ingenuity. Hours passed in what felt like minutes. Alex lost track of time as he traced intricate patterns, aligned glowing nodes, and followed the rhythms of the living artifact. Each success built on the last, creating a cascading effect that reshaped the chamber. Suddenly, a deep vibration ran through the floor. The holographic network expanded, forming a three-dimensional sphere of light above them. Within it, glowing pathways connected nodes that pulsed like stars in a galaxy. Alex's jaw dropped. "It's incredible," he whispered. Dr. Voss nodded. "Yes. And it's not just showing us its structure, it's showing us possibilities. Energy flows, power distribution, even environmental control. The artifact can enhance the colony, maybe even more." Alex felt a surge of responsibility. The knowledge and power within the artifact could change the colony forever. It could stabilize environments, increase energy efficiency, and perhaps even unlock technologies humans had only dreamed of. But with power came risk. One wrong move could destabilize the system. The artifact pulsed in response to his hesitation, almost as if urging him to trust himself. He took a deep breath, remembering the lessons from the previous challenges. Observe carefully, act with intention, and trust human creativity. He began moving the holographic nodes with purpose, aligning them in patterns that felt natural, harmonious. The device in his hands pulsed with energy, as if encouraging him. Dr. Voss mirrored his movements, guiding the flow of energy through symbols and nodes. Together they worked as one, intuition and creativity guiding their hands. The artifact responded instantly, its pulsing becoming smoother, more coherent, as if it were learning from them. Hours melted into a rhythm of discovery. Alex felt a sense of exhilaration he had never known. The artifact was not a machine to be controlled, it was a partner. And humans, with their unique capacity for creativity and intuition, were the perfect collaborators. Then came the final moment. A section of the holographic sphere began to glow brighter than the rest. Alex realized it was a focal point, a core that held the key to unlocking the artifact's full potential. He reached out, hands steady now, and touched it. Immediately, the chamber filled with a surge of energy, warm, safe, and vibrant. The artifact responded fully, stabilizing itself and projecting a clear, radiant map of the colony, the surrounding planet, and even the orbital satellites above. Alex stepped back, awe in his eyes. "It's giving us everything," he whispered. "Knowledge, energy control, guidance, everything we need to help the colony thrive." Dr. Voss placed a hand on his shoulder, and it chose us. It recognized human potential. Creativity, intuition, courage, these are qualities no machine can replicate. We passed every test, and now the artifact trusts us. Alex felt a surge of pride. The words resonated deeply. All his years of studying, building, and experimenting had led to this moment. Humans were not just survivors. They were innovators, explorers, problem solvers. And here the artifact had confirmed it. He glanced around the chamber. The crystalline structures shimmered softly, reflecting the light of the holographic sphere. The energy felt alive, almost as if the artifact were breathing. Alex understood now that the tests were not just for him. They were a demonstration of humanity's unique qualities. This can change everything," he said. Dr. Voss nodded. "Yes. The colony and maybe even humanity can advance far beyond what we imagined. But knowledge alone isn't enough. We must act responsibly, use it wisely, and continue to trust our creativity." Alex looked at her, grateful. "Thank you for trusting me." I never imagined I could do something like this," she smiled faintly. "I didn't just trust you, Alex. I knew humans were capable. And now you see it too. That's the point." A soft vibration ran through the floor, drawing their attention to the artifact. A new sequence of light patterns emerged, forming a clear path leading toward the chamber's exit. The artifact seemed to be guiding them, showing them that their work was only the beginning. Alex followed Dr. Voss, the crystalline device pulsing gently in his hands. Outside, the twin suns were setting, casting long shadows across the sand. The beach felt alive, more vibrant than ever. The artifact had awakened something, not just within the chamber but within him. Dr. Voss paused and looked at him. "Today you proved that human creativity, intuition, and courage are powerful. You helped unlock something ancient, something beyond comprehension. That's humanity's strength. Never forget it." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose. The day he had expected to relax on the beach had transformed into a journey of discovery, challenge, and triumph. Humans were special. Humans were capable. And humans had just proven it. As they walked back toward the colony, Alex glanced down at the sand, still shimmering faintly from the artifact's energy. He smiled. The beach would never look the same again. It was no longer just sand and sun. It was a place of discovery, a place where human ingenuity had shone, a place where they had unlocked something extraordinary. "Do you think anyone will believe us?" Alex asked, half joking. Dr. Voss chuckled softly. "Some may, some won't. But that doesn't matter. We know the truth, and that's enough. Humanity's potential isn't about recognition. It's about action, creativity, and courage. And today we proved it." Alex felt a swell of pride. He thought about the challenges, the puzzles, the living maze of light, the synchronization with Dr. Voss, and the final unlocking of the artifact. Every step had tested his abilities, his intuition, his creativity. And every step had succeeded because of human qualities that no machine or alien device could replicate. The colony's lights twinkled in the distance as they approached. Alex could see people moving about, unaware of the monumental discovery that lay hidden beneath the beach. He knew the artifact's knowledge and power would help the colony thrive, make life safer, more efficient, and more advanced. But the true triumph, Alex realized, was deeper than technology or energy. It was the proof that humans, ordinary in appearance, yet extraordinary in thought, were capable of remarkable things. Dr. Voss turned to him, a faint smile on her face. "Ready for a normal day tomorrow?" Alex laughed, the sound full of relief and joy. "I think normal will feel very strange after today," she chuckled softly. "That's the thing about humanity, Alex. You never stay ordinary for long. You always grow, adapt, and excel, especially when the universe throws a challenge your way." Alex looked out at the twin suns dipping below the horizon. The beach glowed faintly with residual energy from the artifact. For a moment, he allowed himself to feel the full weight of the day, the fear, the excitement, the challenge, and finally, the triumph. Humanity had faced something incredible today, something beyond understanding, and humanity had not just survived, it had excelled. Alex Harper, a junior engineer who had once frozen on a beach in front of his boss, now understood something profound. Humans were not defined by limitations, but by potential. Curiosity, creativity, courage, and intuition were strengths that no machine, no alien, and no challenge could match. And with that knowledge, Alex smiled, feeling a sense of purpose that went beyond the beach, beyond the colony, beyond even the artifact itself. Humanity was ready for the stars. As he and Dr. Voss walked back toward the colony together, the crystalline device pulsing gently in his hands, Alex felt a certainty he had never known before. No matter what challenges awaited in the vast universe, humans would rise. Humans would adapt, and humans would triumph. And today, on a beach on Kepler 452b, humanity had proven it.